Hi, I'm Mike. Calving season can be a great time to get things done in the shop, especially while you're waiting for things to happen out in the pasture. Today, we're going to dig into a tire. We're going to take a look at different ways to get that tire back on the rim, and our neighbor Gary is going to show up and he's going to give us a little bit of help. It's all coming up today on the project list on our Wyoming Life. Welcome back, and thanks for coming along and hanging out once again. If you're new here, please subscribe and come along with us as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. Now, last week we had a chance to add some new stuff to the project list, and rather than wait to get started on that new stuff, I figured we'd give it a go this morning. Now, today is going to be a quick video. I'll warn you ahead of time because we have a storm currently moving in, and it's set to hit us on Wednesday. We're supposed to get an inch of rain today, turning to snow tonight, and bringing another 7 inches through tomorrow. Because of that, I have a ton of prep work to get done. I've got to bring in extra feed, I've got to lay out straw for bedding, and of course, keep an eye on calving all these cows. Now, I promise you that on Thursday during our live stream, I'll get you all the updates. And of course, on Sunday's video, we'll take an in-depth look at how calving is going. This morning though, it's baler time. Now the baler, the tire is off the rim. It's sitting in the sales barn, which is not a good thing. The weight of the baler is about 7,000 pounds. It's all sitting against this deflated tire, warping it out of shape and possibly, eventually, ruining the tire. Getting it up and air back in it, we can then determine if the tire needs tubed, patched, or replaced. Hopefully, this will help you out if you ever get into the situation where you have to get a tire back on the rim. We're going to go through a few ways of doing it, and we're going to see what works. I've had to do this before, even once out in the field, and it's usually not too big of a deal, but there are some differences today that are going to make our game plan just a little bit different, and different things that we're going to have to deal with. The tire is completely off the rim. It needs to be put back on the rim before it'll hold air. Now, if it were about 30 degrees warmer, that might not be such a problem. But the rubber of this tire is cold, and it's going to hold the deformed shape that it has as long as it can. Today, we're going to be trying a few different ways to get the tire back on the rim, and we're going to see which one works best under this circumstance. First things first, we're going to get the baler a bit off the ground. To do that, we'll be using a 3-ton jack, which barely has enough snort to move this heavy baler, but eventually we can get it up and get a little bit of room. I just got wind that our neighbor Gary is going to be stopping by here in a little bit to give us a hand, but until he gets here, let's see what we can do. And one of the first things that might be worth trying is actually putting a strap around the tire. The theory here is that the tension of the strap is going to push down on the tire, holding the bead of the tire against the rim, sealing it enough so that we can get some air in it. This is a normal 2-inch strap, and by applying some pressure, then a bit of soapy water, the tire can be moved back against the rim. But this cold tire just isn't moving enough. One trick that I have used in the past is getting as much air moving into the tire as possible. To do this, I've actually made this little air hose that not only screws onto the valve stem, but allows air to flow constantly into the tire. If we can wiggle the tire around enough, move it around enough, even just to get the seal for a second, the air will begin filling the tire and it'll hold it in place. This usually works with smaller tires, but with this big tire, it's not working either. Luckily, Gary shows up with his bead blaster. This tool is filled with air, and then what it does is quickly shoots a blast of air into the tire. All that air flying in there at once forces the tire to seat itself against the rim. But not in all applications. Another trick that I've seen that does work in some instances is a little bit of starting fluid sprayed into the tire. Add a source of fire, and you can usually get a big whoosh and a pop as the tire instantly pops on the rim. But again, not today. Today we just get a little bit of flames. But that might actually be a good thing because it's heating up the tire enough just to give it just a little bit more flexibility. That flexibility might just be what we need. So let's jack up the baler just a little bit more and bring out Gary's secret weapon. Here's something that I've learned over the last few years, something I've only learned since coming to the ranch. Other people know how to do things much better than you do. It doesn't matter what it is. Very rarely are you going to be the only one that knows how to do something. If somebody tells you they have the only way to do something, they're full of a lot of what I have to go clean out of the barn a little bit later. No matter who you are or what you do, there's always something to learn. And today, Gary introduces me to the slimiest, nastiest stuff that I've had to deal with that doesn't come out of a cow's rear end. This is Murphy's tire soap. Now, it doesn't smell bad, but it is messy and it's sticky. This stuff is vegetable based. I don't know how, but it has no oil or any petroleum based products in it. And its sole purpose is to help tires slide onto rims. Gary lays it on thick on both sides of the tire. And then it's the moment of truth. So that's it. That's all there is to it. The tire is back on. Murphy's tire soap is reusable, so it's picked up and put back in the bucket. And then air goes in the tire. A little cleanup, and we have the baler back on its shoes and hopefully ready to go. I hope that this helps you if you ever have a tire off the rim. And I tend to start with the easiest solution. I work my way up, but you can always skip the middle steps and head right to the bead blaster and the tire soap. Whatever works for you and whatever gets you back up and running. I'm off and running too. I need to bring in a whole bunch of straw for the cows and hopefully calves to bed down in over the next few days. I also have to try to convince them not to eat their bed. That's a fight that we have that fight every single year. Thanks for coming along. Please subscribe and join us for our live stream coming up Thursday. This week's special guest you've probably seen wearing a cow like a puppet. His name is Cody Creelman. He's the cow vet, and he's going to be joining us Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I hope you can be there too. Until I see you again, have a great week, and thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.